Today kind of a long one. It's a good one though, but today is it's kind of a long one, a little bit. Y'all ain't gonna be, you won't be disappointed. You will not be disappointed. Hey, Queen. Hey, Jen. Kim. Everybody. I normally don't wait until like a lot of people get on. Y'all know I just be talking so much that shit, I don't care. I talk to 2 people. It don't matter to me. But I had to figure out for me the right time and you know, just kind of the right moment. Did you say I look thick? Girl, don't make me no, okay. My leg was ashy. Why I do that? Ro, don't say I look thick, because I'm trying to, I'm gonna lose this, you know, I got some stuff in here I need to get rid of. Y'all saw that Meg Thee Stallion kick. Y'all saw that. Don't act like y'all didn't see that shit. Hey. So listen, let me grab a pillow. Okay. Because y'all know I'm animated, so if I hold on to something, then I won't be doing all this so much. So listen, before my body realized that I done turned the air off and the shit get too hot. So, for anyone that read my book, Life Behind the Chair by Alicia Lester, available on Amazon. But for anyone that read my book, you know that there's a portion of my book that where I speak of not knowing who my biological father truly was, or the fact that my mother had expressed to me that she did not know who, no, take that back, expressed to me that the man whose family raised me was not, in fact, my biological father. But I was too young to really worry about it. I didn't care. I had a great life growing up. So you can't miss something you never had, right? So anyway, today I really want to talk. I was going to wait and I was going to put this in a book, and I still might put it in a book. But because I'm not the only one that be in situations like this, I wanted to kind of share this ahead of time. But I had to wait until everyone who was important to me, knew exactly what was going on. So you never want to jump the gun and hurt anybody in any kind of way, or just do anything just without thinking first. And that was something that I definitely did. I thought first. So, oh man, it's going to get good, y'all. It's going to get real good. So anyway, my biological mother told me a long time ago that the father that raised me wasn't really my father. But I think due to her past and things like that, I think we just kind of like, you know, okay, whatever. You know, she don't really know what she might be talking about. Whatever. Most women know where they've been. Most. I mean, it might have been some drunken nights where you didn't, or some real high nights that you didn't. But most women know where they've been. So, anyway, I didn't feel it was okay to look or to search for another person, because I didn't have a need for a father. I had a dope ass mother, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't really have a need for a father. The person that raised me was awesome in herself. So we're going to fast forward all the way to my father, who passed away. When he was on his deathbed, I never expressed this to anybody else because it kind of wasn't nobody else's business to me at that time. I hadn't told anybody. So on his deathbed, you know, my real mother was like, you know, I thank him for keeping my secret all this time. Yeah, secret? What secret could that be? You know, but time went on. I asked him while he was on his deathbed. Now, when I tell you he had days, maybe hours, maybe left to live, I asked him, I said, Dad, are you my real dad? He kind of looked at me, you know, but he gave me the same answer that he'd given me my whole life. You daddy's baby, no matter what. Okay, and I took that. But this time it was different because I don't know, it just sounded different. Even though he was dying, even though he was, even though he was getting ready to pass, that time was just a little bit different than any other time. So I took that and I kept it right there. But I knew at that moment that he wasn't my biological father. I knew that. Time goes on. I asked my biological mother. We start talking about some things, and she's given me the same name she'd given me for years. And she told me just what she knew. I thought about looking. I said, nah, that's okay. I thought about it again. Nah, that's okay. But when my father passed away, I felt like I was given permission. I felt like I was given permission to look, because about a year prior to him passing away, he told me, he said, baby, if you want a paternity test, and I know you do, but if you want one of them old tests, daddy'll give it to you. Because I know it means something to you. It don't mean nothing to me. Because in here I know. So I was like, no, that's okay. No, I don't need one. But in my heart, down in the bottom of my heart, I knew I needed one. I just knew it. I knew I needed one. For me. Not for him. For me. So time just kept going, y'all. Time kept going. I Googled the person's name. About 86,000 of them came up. I tried to go back and pinpoint exactly where they were when I was made. Still couldn't really get it together. Some things were saying that the person by that name was deceased. Some things were saying the person by that name was, I don't know. I kept hitting these roadblocks. I'm like, gosh, this is crazy. But I'm looking at everything around me. I'm looking at me. Now, mind you, like I said, I come from a family that was a really, really good family. And I come from a family that was going to love you no matter what. We take in dogs, cats, strays, mice, everything but roaches, honey. We take them in. That's just how they love people. So I knew that the question would never come about. But let me tell you, before I go off into what I found, let me tell you how good God is, and how when he's giving you an assignment, it's important to know when God has given you an assignment. My father that brought me up here to his family, he knew that I wasn't his child. Him and my mother knew. They knew that I wasn't his. But it was easier to say that I was his so I could come to a good family. If my father had allowed my mother to put me up for adoption, there's no telling where I would have ended up. There's no telling where I would have been. So he said, let's take her to my family in Omaha, Nebraska, where I know she'll have a good life. 39 years later, I'm still here. But this man did that knowing that I wasn't his child. That part right there, it always does something to me, because he didn't have to do it. He didn't have to do it at all. I thank him so much. I didn't ask him for much when he was alive. And so then even when he passed away, I have other siblings. And it kind of came down to a point where I was going to have to get a paternity test just to prove some things. And that's where I backed up. I couldn't get the paternity test because I couldn't take anything that wasn't rightfully mine. And I knew in my heart that he wasn't mine. But I have siblings who, they had to deal with that. And they had to, figure out their own way with that. But I knew in my heart. But I wasn't ready to accept that blow just at that moment. I wasn't ready to accept that then at all. So I just kind of pushed it off to the side as much as I possibly could. Here in Omaha, Nebraska, I have a brother and I have a sister. Still a brother and a sister. Nothing ever changes that. But I have a brother and a sister here in Omaha, Nebraska. But that's their father. He was my daddy. Because at 3 weeks old, he brought me up here in a damn blizzard from Aurora, Colorado. And he brought me up here to his sister, who has loved me, taken care of me, given me the world, cussed me out, whooped my ass, everything that I needed growing up, right? I don't think there was ever a doubt in Mama's mind that I wasn't her brother's child. I just don't think so. Number one, why would a man bring you here and he's not your dad? But that's just how good God is, because he didn't have to do that. When you go back, my biological father and my mother, they knew that my biological father, he had a family. Now this thing gonna get kind of crazy for a minute, but I'm gonna tell you how I know I'm so grown and I'm so mature, and God is so able, because he had a family. He had a wife and he had children, or a child, or I'm not sure exactly how many he had at the time, but that man had a family. And so my biological mother never wanted to step into that family any more than she'd already had. So she decided to let him know that she was pregnant, but keep going. And she got stationed somewhere else. And you know, so I was born somewhere else. But she just let him know, just so he'll know that there was a child out there. There was a little girl out there that was his, just in case thing ever came up. My real mom is so dope, and she's so cool that she wasn't tripping one way or the other. You know, and he had to live his life, and he had to go on with his family. He was of higher rank than her, from what I get. And if anybody had known or found that out, that man could have lost absolutely everything. That's how you know people back then are way different from people nowadays. Because somebody nowadays he'd have been all on Facebook. He'd have been all on social media. But again, my mom was so cool, and she handled it in such a cool way. And God don't make no mistakes, that she allowed him to go on and live his life. In whatever way he could, he went on and lived his life. She put me in a good space. She went on to live her life. So, back to my daddy that brought me here. Growing up, it was kind of tough, because I looked at him like an uncle more than a dad. I called him dad when he came, but it was something about it, y'all, that I just didn't feel it. I couldn't feel it. He looked at me, I know people will probably say, no, you know, that's not true. That's not, I know what I felt. He looked at me different. I felt a slight way that he kind of treated me different. Not bad, but just different. I went down to where he was living in Louisiana. I went down there one time, and I mentioned this in a book, and I said something to him, and I guess to him it was very disrespectful. And me and him got into it, and he closed his fist and he punched me in the face. It hurt my feelings. It hurt my feelings so bad. It hurt my feelings more than it hurt my face. Now, this is an army fist, a retired army fist, punching me in my face. But when I look back at why he hit me to begin with, I'll never say that any kind of hitting, and I'm not saying that it's okay, but sometimes kids get a little disrespectful. And I think at that moment, it all had gathered up for him. How dare you? How dare you disrespect me after everything that I've done for you? I didn't know this at the time, though, y'all. I'm a parent now. I'm a parent, and I'm 39, and I understand more. How dare you talk to me crazy? Because that mouth was a little slick. But when he hit me, I knew it at that moment, because I said to myself, there's not a man alive that would ever hit their kid like this. This is just what I'm thinking. Nobody would ever hit their biological kid like this. So I know he's not my dad. And I think at that time I was kind of saying it out of anger. But when I look back, y'all, I've known this thing for a long time. When he would come in town, it wasn't as much of a rush to see me as it was to see his other child, because I think he knew I was okay, because I was with family. So he knew he was going to see me. You know, so I'm just kind of going back in my mind, and I'm kind of putting all these things together, and I'm just trying to make sense of so many things. My real mom always told me that my biological mom was tall, bow-legged, and dark-skinned. I'm like, okay, all right, you know, whatever. Well, my daddy, he ain't that tall. And my mama, she ain't that tall either, but I was like, okay. But my son was 6'3". Now, his daddy never questioned me, but I almost wonder if he, you know, kind of thought to himself, like, "Hi, damn, how my son's 6'3" and I'm only 5, whatever he is. I don't remember, child, but he's something." But I was just like, you know, just trying to put these things together. Why was I so dark? My mom's not dark, y'all. My mom's kind of light. My grandparents, just everybody. I just was trying to put things together. But anytime I got in a room with my father, who family raised me, I kept trying to match my eyes up and line my eyes up with everybody, and my complexion and all these different things, but nothing was lining up. Nothing was adding up. But one thing Mama always told me was that if you feed a dog long enough, it'll start to look like you. So I'm like, shit, all right. Okay, you know, whatever. So, so I get grown. Life goes on. Time goes on. Anyway, father passes away. I made the decision about 2 months ago. My husband kept asking me, are you sure this is what you want to do? Well, why don't you just go search for him? Why don't you just go look? And I'm a lot like my biological mom in the sense of I don't like to bother people. I don't bother none of y'all. I don't bother best friends. I didn't bother boyfriends. I just don't bother people. I never have. And I didn't want to bother this man, and I didn't want to barge into his life. And I know some people will say, well, you're not barging, you know, you were a kid at that time, or you're the child, so it's still a way in which you do things so you don't intentionally hurt other people. So, I stepped back. I stepped back. And I kept picking it up and I kept putting it down. About 8 or 9 years ago, me and Danielle Westbrook, we took a test called AncestryDNA.com. Ancestry DNA. And so we got our results back and they were fun. And so she was able to see, you know, all her people and what it kind of went back to. But for me, it brought up these last names and it brought up these, just brought up some things that I wasn't familiar with. An entire family damn near in another place. It brought up some of my biological mom's people, but it brought up not one person here in town or here, you know, within this family. I put it down, you know, I kept going. In June, I took a test called 23andMe, but I didn't take it because I was looking for my father. I took it because there's a health side of it that I wanted to know about. I've had way too many cancer scares for it not to have been hereditary. This is what I'm thinking, you know. So I took it for that. But when I took it, it gave me more people on my mom's side, more people on another side, nobody here in the middle. So I just started thinking. I called my mama one more time, my real mom this time. I called my real mom and I said, Mama, what's his name? Mama, what's his first name, his middle name, his last name? Give me what you got. She gave me everything she had, which was the same shit she gave me a long time ago. I started putting it together. I put these last names together. I put the place of birth together for my father, my biological father. That's one of the clues that my mom had given me. Y'all, that shit popped up like popcorn. Not him, though. Not him. But any and everybody that could be connected to him. So now I get on Facebook and I start looking. I start looking and I start searching. And then I put it back down. I kept hitting these little bumps. And I'm the kind of person, again, I ain't bothering shit. Sometimes you just shouldn't go poking a bear. You just shouldn't. So I put it back down. I got a request from a cousin. It tells you who's your cousins. First cousin, second cousin, third cousin, all the way down to your damn sixth cousin. It's some white people on there that we cousins with. They might be mad as hell, but I think it's pretty cool. But it's a whole bunch of cousins. 1,498 to be exact, right? The ones that was on my biological mom's side, I was able to identify them. Boom, 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 boom on this family tree. The ones from this other side, I didn't know. A cousin hit me up. And her message was, hey, cousin. So I'm like, hey, how you doing? So she's like, I'm fine. She was like, if there's any way that I can help you in any kind of way, let me know. I said, I have a question about a name. And I gave her the first and last name. She said, hold on, let me ask my mama. She asked her mama. Her mama said, yeah, that's my first cousin. I said, oh, shit. So it was starting to get kind of real. At this time, I ain't told nobody that I'm doing these things. I haven't told my husband, haven't told mama, haven't told my brother. I haven't told anybody. The only reason I'm telling y'all is because I already let them know. The public will never get a chance to tell my business before me. So I said, I was like, oh man, this is getting too close. This is getting too close to home. So she comes back again. And she was like, again, cousin, I can help you. I got some pictures. My mom got a few pictures. Let me figure out something. Let me see how this thing is, whatever. I'm like, yeah, send me a picture. I said, but wait, before you send me a picture, can you tell me if he's married? Okay, let me ask my mom. I'll be right back. She asked her mom. Her mom said he was married. I said, don't go any further. She said, no, you need to know, and he needs, and I said, nope, don't go any further. Don't go any further. I logged off. I logged off because he was married. Now, many of you may not be a wife. I don't know how many of y'all are somebody's daughter. I don't know. I don't know how many of y'all have been hurt or cheated on or anything like that. But I don't care in what capacity or how many years have gone by. It still hurts. So I stepped back. And before I continued, I prayed, y'all. And when I tell y'all I prayed so hard. I prayed for everybody involved in this situation. I prayed from my biological mama all the way down to whatever kids this man had. And I didn't stop praying. I prayed until I felt God moving some things within me. I wouldn't stop. I kept praying, I kept praying, and I kept praying. And the reason why I prayed for them, I had to pray for their hearts. Because it's never going to come across easy. I don't care what it is. I don't care what you say. It's never going to be easy. You think that hurt you? Somebody would say, oh shit, girl, you're 39 years old. If a person can't handle that, then oh well. I don't operate like that though, y'all. Just because I'm 39 don't mean that it hurts any less. It doesn't matter. There was still something that happened that caused some friction, that could. So I prayed for everybody, and I didn't stop. The Lord didn't show me who to pray for. For some reason, I just kept getting multiple people outside of the wife. So I kept praying, and I kept praying, and I kept praying for every single person involved. Y'all, I didn't even know who was involved. Hell, I didn't even know if the man was still living. I didn't know. I'm getting bits and pieces from this cousin, but remember I told her to stop. So I go back. I felt like God said, move forward. Sometimes the Lord tell you stuff, or sometimes you tell yourself stuff. I felt like it was him telling me to proceed with caution, but move forward though. Just, you can move forward. So I said, okay. I go back to the cousin. She like, do you want to know now? She sends me a picture. Y'all, Lord Jesus, the first picture that she sent me, it ended up being a picture of the uncle. But when I tell you this man was a split image to my son. To my son. I promise you this man looked just like my son. And it was just funny to me because he looked like how Dejan would look if he was old and down at Jesse's, right? So I'm like, damn, this is kind of crazy. I knew they were tall. It was just getting weird to me. So she sends me another picture. I've questioned this long ass face for as long as I could remember, right? I said, oh shit. I said, I don't know for sure, but this might go ahead and be him, right? So the cousin is still sending me kind of what she had a little bit, but she was like, look, don't tell him I told you, because if some shit hit the fan, I don't want nobody. I said, I'll never tell your name. Still to this day, I never told her name. I'll never tell it. She'd have to tell it herself. But I'm so thankful to that sister, that cousin and her mother, because they helped me more than they'll ever know. I could never thank them enough, right? So now I get on Facebook, y'all. I get on Facebook and I'm connecting dots, and it's linking me to people. It's linking me to, just all this family. So the last step was to pay $29.95 for to unlock some somebody's address and a phone number and all these things. So it unlocked the address. I got scared. It unlocked the phone number. So now it gave me 3 different phone numbers. It gave me, I think it was 2 landline numbers, and then there was another number. The last number that I called, the other 2 numbers was disconnected. I got discouraged. But I prepared myself. I told Lord you need to make me strong either way. You got to make me strong, whether he's okay with this or whether he say he don't want no parts of this. So you got to make me strong. I mean, like real nigga strong. Like, I need you to do this for me. So I called the 2 numbers, disconnected. That last number was connected to who I believed to have been the wife. I said, the devil is a lie. I bet you I won't call her number. I will not call. I don't give a shit how long it lasts or how long it takes. That wife will never find out by me. I'll never be the one to do that to her. I will not. I will not. That's his business to tell, and that'll be the one that does it. Won't be me, right? So I keep on going. I get a little discouraged because now I don't have no voice. I ain't got nobody to talk to. But this address, it was a P.O. box. I said, well, shit, if he anything like my husband, he don't check his P.O. box, you know, but whatever. So I tried to send it kind of like in business form, where like it was coming from a business standpoint. So that way, us as wives, if it's some business type shit, we ain't, here's your mail. But if it's all fancy girl handwriting, something, I got to open it up first and see what it is. Because if any of y'all with beautiful handwriting send my husband a letter, I'm opening that shit up. I don't give a shit what it is. I'm opening it because he's mine, right? So I send it. But before I send it, I pray again, y'all. I pray again. I pray and I say, I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm going to compile these images of myself, my family, my mother that raised me, my mama from back then, and my father that raised me. And then I'll put together myself, things about my life, and then my own family, just to kind of give them an idea of who I am, where I come from, and the fact that I don't need or want absolutely anything from him. Just want to know why Dejan's ass is 6'3" and why I'm black as hell with a long ass face. That's all I want to know. So I pray on these things again, and I give him pictures. I sent a picture of my mother because some men need a reminder of where they was back then. So I sent him a little picture of my mama. She ain't changed much. She still looked the same, still skinny, still but I needed him to kind of get an idea of where he was back then. I put it all together. My heart is pumping out of my chest. I put it all together. I even sent a cover letter. I let him know, this is who I am. This is what it is. This is what they said it is. I took this test. All roads lead back to you. And do with it whatever you want to do with it. Explain it however you want to explain it. But if you don't want to explain it, I promise you'll never hear from me again, and I'll go on about my business. Because I'm 40, y'all. I'm damn near 40 years old. So ain't shit else that we, you know what I'm saying? You can't cry over something that you ain't had. So I got to keep on going. So I sent it. I overnighted it. They told me it'd be there the next day by 3 p.m. My heart is pumping from that time to 3 p.m., y'all. I'm so nervous, I don't know what to do. Sweating like a hoe in church, right? So I'm like, well, how am I going to, what do I say to everybody else? If he's okay with this, what do I say? What do I do? Anyway, we'll deal with that when the time comes. I go back to Facebook. I go back to connecting dots. I go back to trying to figure out who these people are, where he is, does he have a Facebook, all these different things. I get a sister. Hey, Cindy Pop. I get a sister, right? Wait, I take it back. I think she's my sister. I think she's my sister. At first, I had a whole other family. Wasn't even them. I think they some cousins, but it wasn't even them. So I get a sister. Y'all, I get this sister. And I'm just staring at her page. I'm staring at her page. I'm looking at her face. I'm looking at her skin. I'm looking at everything about her. I go through her news feed, her timeline. I go through all her pictures, and I see that picture. I see the same picture that was sent to me. And I just sat there, and I looked at him, and I looked at her, and all I could think about was, man, I'm almost sure he probably would have loved me the exact same way. It was too natural. It was too real. It was too good, right? And I was just like, wow, this is amazing. This is so amazing. I still keep stalking this girl's page. I still stalking her whole family. Everybody. I'm putting the stuff together because I done paid $29.95. Damn it, I'm gonna get some names. I'm gonna see some stuff, right? So, just out of nowhere, y'all. You know how Facebook have those filtered messages? Just out of nowhere, I just go and I check that. I get a message from that same sister who I was stalking. I get a message from her, and this is what she said. My heart was beating so fast. My heart beating now like it did then. It said, hey, my daddy said that he received a package or received some information about his daughter, about you being his daughter or something like that. And if I got the right person, I would love to know you. I would love to get to know you. Nigga. My heart became so full and it became so big. Child, I shot out that house. Justice was in the backyard cleaning the pool. Child, I shot out that house like lightning had struck my ass. And I was so excited and I was so happy and I was so filled with just all the joy in the world. Not because I had a sister, not because she was not because of that. Because my prayer had went through. Because I said, Lord, I need you to pray for these people to be able to accept me. I need you to pray for these people to be able to understand and realize that I don't want anything from them but to love them. That's it. That's all I need. That's it. I don't want anything else. When that child told me, I say child because she the baby sister, but when that child told me that she would love to get to know me, she would love to get to know me, her sister. You couldn't tell me shit for the rest of the day. Child, Joshy was jumping off the goddamn ceiling. Bailey damn near ran into the neighbor's house. Justice could have went and did whatever the hell he wanted to do. Noah, Grandma, everybody. Nothing else mattered at that moment, y'all. Nothing else mattered at that moment. When I tell you it was so beautiful, it didn't make any sense. So, anyway, so now we messaging back and forth. And you know, you don't want to I don't want to ask her too much stuff. And, you know, she's already saying daddy, and I'm like, my dad, your daddy, is our dad, like, how are we doing this? Like, do I say daddy too, or do I leave it alone? Do I just say his name? Like, what do I do? Just tell me. I'm riding, y'all wave. What do I do? Y'all, it was the most amazing thing in the world. This child been talking to me. We talk every single day, right? Now, wait. So, all right. I still didn't, you know, we still learning and we still getting to know one another and we still getting to, you know what I'm saying? Just getting all of that. I get scared again though, y'all, because I ain't told mama that raised me. I done already told my real mama. Hell, she knew where she was at. She knew who he was, whatever. She was happy for me though, because she's always been happy for me. I don't care what I do. She proud. But then there was mama. Mama who tells me all the time that I walk like her brother. Or that, not walk like him, I look like her brother, or I got this like him, or I got that like him. How do I tell mama, y'all? And it hurt me because I was so excited that I felt like I was cheating on mama. I felt like I was cheating on my mama because I didn't know how mama would feel about something like this. I just didn't know. And I don't care. One thing I am never going to do, and that's hurt Deborah Ann Jackson. Do you hear me? Never. So as excited and as happy as I was, I knew I had to find a time and a way to let mama know. And not only just mama, my son. I had to let my son know too. Because that means that his reality and everything that he'd always known, it was going to change. Things were going to shift. You know what I'm saying? Not the love. Of course, not the love. But just, you know, those things was going to change for him. And Dejan don't accept change that well like that. But then he like his mama. He was like, oh, okay, cool. Pops is kind of fly. That's what's up. All right, you know, no problem. Boom. I was like, whew, that was easy. Because remember, I pray for everybody's hearts. I pray for everybody's hearts involved. So me and my sister, we talk every day. One day, I'm talking to mama. Mama come by and I'm talking to mama. And I let her know. I told her. And she said, so your mama wasn't lying. I said, no, mama, she wasn't lying. And even more, your brother knew. He knew, mama. And she didn't say nothing because she knows just how good her brother was. And she said, oh, okay. So I shows her a picture. She said, I see it all up in here. Yep, I see it. That made me feel good. Because ever since I was a little kid, mama's approval has always been at the top for me. Always. So that made me feel good. I called my brother. I said, bro, hey, listen, I got something to tell you. He's like, what is it? I was like, so The daddy that they said was my daddy, who's your uncle, he ain't really my daddy, but it don't mean shit. He said, they don't know I don't mean nothing. It's cool. Whatever. You still my sister. I said, oh shit. Okay. All right, cool. No problem. So got my brother out the way. I told my sister, hey, sis. I send her a message because she worked like hell. I shoot her a text message. Give her a long little message. Let her know. End of it. Nothing changes. She says, sis, I'm crying and I'm happy for you. Boom. Knocked her out. Got her out the way. I ain't told my brother yet. I don't have his number. It's okay though, because that's my dog. Who else? I told my cousins. I got a few cousins that's like brothers to me. So I had to let them know. Because the world couldn't do that yet. I couldn't allow the world to be able to give them that. That's my job, to give them that. Both of them. Happy for you, fam. Love you. Blood couldn't make us any closer. Now, these are people that I was worried about, y'all. These are people that I just didn't know how they was going to feel and what they was going to say. All I knew was that I knew our love wouldn't change. I just, you know what I'm saying? I just didn't know. I've spent my whole life trying to protect them. I've spent my whole life trying to protect everybody else. Nobody knew how hard it was for me, child, hurting, knowing that there's pieces of me that just wasn't adding up. Things about my life that just wasn't adding up. The only thing me and my father that raised me had in common was eczema. Well, shit, that's me and about 82% of the damn world. Y'all dry, y'all just don't know it, but you know what I'm saying? That's me and everybody. So I'm like, we ain't really got nothing else. You know what I'm saying? So it was just different, y'all. It was just different. But I spent 39 years looking for those pieces. I spent 39 years wondering when I was going to get my daddy. You know what I'm saying? When I was going to get my daddy. Or when I was going to be able to see my daddy. Or when I was going to be able to just know that there's just something, right? So, that was that. Everybody's been cool. It's been one of the most beautiful things. So, there's some siblings, right? There's some siblings. So I have a brother. He's the oldest. He's an older brother. And at first I didn't know how he was gonna be. He just shot me a message and was like, hey, they say you my sister. I'm like, I was like Joshy then. So, He's like, oh, okay. All right, well, can't change the past. Move on to the future. What? Okay, all right. Now these is this woman's kids now. They don't have to accept me. They don't have to love me. You know, none of that. My last task is my father's wife. And some people will say, well, Lisa, I'm sweating like a hoe in church today, y'all. Now, I ain't even sweating because of the story. I'm sweating because I done turned this damn air off so I could talk to y'all. But let me go ahead and get through this story. My father's wife. So many people would say, why does it mean anything? Why does it bother you? Why do you feel some kind of way? You're the kid. Because I'm a person. And because I understand what that kind of thing can do to a person. I'll never overstep my boundaries when it comes to their life. I'll never barge in anybody's life. I won't do that. I will move on her time. And I will move when, you know what I'm saying? That's just some things you just don't do. There's just a way in which you just don't do things. That's why I don't mess with things that don't belong to me. That's why I don't deal with people that don't belong to me. Because you don't just hurt one person when you do that. You can hurt an entire family. And I'll never allow that to be the case. So when this woman says, come on, baby. That's when I'll come. Until then, I will continue to love on my sister. I will continue to love on my brother. I will continue to love my father from afar. But I will not make a move until her heart feels good with it. And I don't even know how her heart feels about it. But I won't be the one to hurt it again. I promise you that. And she knew about me. That she knew that there was a daughter, but out of sight, out of mind. You know, a lot of y'all deal with somebody that may have another child out there somewhere, but you don't see that child. So you ain't got to think about that child. But the way I pray for her, She'll feel it. She'll feel it. But I won't move until she does. So I just wanted to kind of catch everybody up on my crazy life and what's been going on and why I feel the way I feel. And the other day I made a status and I was just like, you're never too old and it's never too late. When I tell you it's never too late, I promise you that. If there's some pieces of you that just don't sit right, if you know that there's some things about you that just don't add up, ask the questions. Seek it. Find out the answers. Now, everybody should now. Wait, hold on now. Everybody's situation is not going to have an amazing, happy ending and this is that and the other. I don't even know what the ending will be. You got to understand. I'm talking to y'all while I'm still going through this thing. You know, everybody don't have the same type of ending. But everybody deserves to know who they are. Everybody deserves to know. Your children deserve to know who they are. Don't hold a child back from a father or a mother. Don't hold a child, you just can't. Let that child seek and find and go see and all that kind of stuff. Let them do that. Because it's not fair any other kind of way. I chose to wait until my father passed away to go and find, the answers that I was looking for. That's just my route. That's what I chose to do. Everybody don't have to do it that way. That's what worked for me. I treat people, I live a life where I treat people exactly like I want people to treat me. I love on people the way I want people to love on me. I've always been that way. So I'm not at all, I don't feel no kind of way at taking baby steps on trying to figure this thing out. Because we all trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And this is the thing. When I tell you I don't want nothing, I don't want anything from him. He don't owe me I don't have no questions. I don't have nothing. I don't have not one question. None. I don't want to know where you were. I don't need to know how. None of that kind of stuff. Love me from today. Love me from right here. Oh. Love me from right here where we are right now. That's what I want. I'm not upset. When you raised right, now this is one thing I'm gonna tell you. When a person brings you up right, it makes it easier. The reason why some of y'all hurt and are upset at the opposite parent or the whatever is because you've been made to hear certain things for so long. Or maybe somebody told you that they wasn't shit or that they wasn't this or that they wasn't that. Get to know people for yourself before drawing that conclusion. I know when you're young, you only get one side. But get to know people for yourself. And I want to know my daddy for myself. Nobody ever told me he was bad, though. My biological mama always told me he was a good man. She always told me he was a good man. Both of them, though. Both of them was good. She said both of them was good men. Hell, I wish I had her taste during that time. I eventually got it together. But, it's just one of those things where I'm just like, I'm just excited at the fact that I know him, that I found him. I'm just happy that I found him. It doesn't go against anything that I've already learned. It doesn't block out anyone that I already love. It just adds to the pot for me. That's all it does. It adds to the pot. It doesn't take away anything. It just adds to the pot. That's exactly what it does. So, if you see me, sometimes I might post things on Instagram. My sister is mainly on Instagram. But if you see me mention things about sister or this, that, and the other, it's her. It's absolutely her. And it's absolutely them. I just have more sisters. I have more brothers. I have more family. That's all it is. I just have more. And I'm so thankful and I'm so grateful for the more. So I just wanted to tell y'all that. I feel cheated. If we wanted to keep it real, I feel cheated. But not cheated the way people might think. I just feel cheated that I didn't have enough time with my sister. So now, when I talk to her child, I don't know if we should jump rope. Should I play in her hair? I don't even know what I should do. I have no idea. But whatever it is, I'm going to just keep loving her. I'm going to keep loving her. And it wasn't even hard, though. It wasn't even hard. I promise you it wasn't hard. Her heart is like mine. From what I hear, his heart is like ours. You know what I'm saying? Just like all of that is crazy. And I still was like, look, even though all roads led back to him, he never asked for a blood test or anything like that. I was the one like, hey, listen, because I'm the one showed up to the party late. So I'm like, do y'all want a blood test? Do y'all want to know? Like, how y'all feeling? You know what I'm saying? Like, just keep it real. How y'all feeling? Nobody said anything. Nothing. Just open arms, y'all. It's the craziest thing in the world. Just open arms. Just understanding this whole other side of a family that I didn't know. You know? So I just find a way, because life is too short. And this COVID shit done definitely showed us that. Life is too short to be upset. Get to know people for yourself. Sometimes you got to step out and make that first move. Sometimes you got to just kind of step out and say, I'm on live.
Oh, sorry.
Sometimes you just got to step out and say, you know what? This is what I need to do for me. Sometimes it's not about the other person. It's not, it's not. This wasn't for my father. This wasn't for him. This was for me. This was for me. And not wanting anything. I don't need him to buy me anything. I don't need him to take me nowhere. I don't need him to nothing. I ain't got no niggas for him to scare off. Gotta need that. But I don't have anything. Just love me from right here. That's it. Just love me from right here. That's all I need. That's all I ask. So don't go through life with grudges. Stop taking your children's options away when it comes to another parent. Let them figure it out. Let them find it for themselves. You're not helping them. You're not sheltering them. You're not keeping them, you're not. You're not. That's for you. It's not for them. Let them find it out on their own. Like I said, everyone's outcome isn't the same, but it's worth a try to go and see. You can't tell me it's not some of y'all that sit in a room amongst your parents and amongst family and say, I don't look anything like him. I don't look anything like him. I don't look anything like my other siblings. Ask the questions. See what answers you get. Ask that drunk ass auntie that know all your mama's business. That's who you ask. And ask her. But guys, just get to know yourself and just get to know who you are. Blessed to be able to take y'all on this journey with me. I always kind of let y'all know things, but everything happens in time. So you'll never be in the midst of this thing because I don't have time to love them and keep updating y'all. I'm at a place in my life right now where I just want to love them. I just do that. Time is valuable, and that's what I want to do. But I had to let y'all know up until this point right here, because it's so, when I tell you the biggest weight has been lifted up off my shoulder, the biggest weight has been lifted off my shoulder, and I don't question nobody. Again, I wasn't even raised by my biological mother. And child, I don't have questions for her either. My mama could get on this live right now and tell y'all I ain't never not one time asked her where she was at or where she been. Love me from where we at. That's it. Because we can't change the past. And I'll never make her go back into that closet of hers. I'll never make her go back and relive any of those moments with any of those demons just to try to dig and find an answer that I still may not be ready for. I'll never do that to her. I won't do that to him. I won't do that to anybody. I just won't. You never understand some of the things that your parents go through in life. They may not make the same decision, or it may not be the same situation. That may not be how you would handle things. I know people say, I'll never give up my kids, or I would always look for my child, or I'll always fight for my child. And, people do the best with what they have. It wasn't for my parents to raise me. It wasn't their assignment. I promise to God it wasn't their assignment. God gave that assignment to the people that was able to bless me and raise me. It wasn't for the two people that brought me into this world. It just wasn't. You never know what my life would have been had I been raised by either one of them. I would assume that it would have been good, but maybe not. That's because I was where I'm supposed to be. So how can you be mad at that? You can't. So Don't point the finger. Don't blame. Just know that some people do the best they can with what they have. And I'm happy that I had a chance to be able to in this lifetime. So 2020 has been an eye-opener for everybody. I know people say, throw away 2020. Throw it away, throw it away, throw it away. And I felt like that too. Until a month ago. That I found one of the last pieces of me. So 2020, it has had some bumps and some bruises, but I promise you, I've had so much more good than bad. I promise you, I've had more good than I have bad. So for my own reasons, I'll never forget 2020. So from 1980 to 2020, child, please. Finally found him. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. I gotta go get the other kids of mine at some point. But anybody, any questions, anything, you feel free to ask them. I don't have no problem with that. I have a lot of people on my news feed that gave away a child, or was unable to raise their kids, or I have some fathers that are unable to see their children or be with their children and things like that. And just keep pushing. Keep the fuck pushing. Do you hear me? Just keep doing what you got to do. One thing about a child, if they're raised right, they'll come back and look for you. If they are raised right, they will come back and look for you no matter the circumstances. It just happens that way. It just happens that way. But I knew when my father told me what he told me, I knew that that was my permission to go. And I truly feel in my heart that that was his assignment here on earth. I don't know how many assignments God gave him, but I know the one that he had for me. Job well done. He did his thing. So guys, that's all I got today. I told you it was a long one. I'm so sorry. But I had to get y'all through from the beginning to the, to the end. I'm working on a podcast. I would love to be able to continue to share different parts and different bits and pieces and, be able to call on people and, just kind of get things out there that I say the things that other people are feeling. I say the things that other people want to say. I cuss for other people that don't, I say shit for the church people that refuse to. So, stay with me. It's not over. The journey is just beginning. And, thank you guys. Always. Yes, for the podcast. I would love to. I got to figure out how to work this shit first. I ain't really a podcast kind of person. If it was up to me, we'd all meet up at Miller Park and just talk, but I ain't really a podcast kind of person. But I'll figure it out. Perry helped me. So we'll figure this thing out. But thanks guys so much. I appreciate it. To any family that's on here that just got this, I did not go through and tell each and every single last. I said it to the ones that stuck out in my mind. It don't take away from anybody else. It just, there's some people I just couldn't have nobody else tell them but me. That's just kind of how it was. And they know who they are. Sincere. Let's step into this wig, honey. This is the wig that I was waiting for the other day that Justice tried to drop me back off. Child, you're going to get into this wig, honey. You're going to get into this here. Yes, City Pop. This is it. It's not as long as I thought it was going to be, but it is definitely doing what I needed to do. Thanks, guys. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all always. To my father that I just met, I love you. To my sister I just met and the brother and all that, I love you. To my father's wife, who I have yet to meet. When I tell you that I have prayed for you and I appreciate you in advance, we're going to get through this thing together. I thank y'all so much from the bottom of my heart. Bye, guys.